There is an alternate world to ours, a world full of entertainment and wonder, a world of fake stories that we will never get to see, of beginnings without endings, of endless what could have beens. It's not often that we get to see the vastness of this world, and even more rarely do we get to enjoy what we see from it. This is the world of failed TV pilots. Yes, failed TV pilots. All of them filled with promise, most of them unfunny, some of them placed in the middle of an existing show for testing, and none of them able to leverage that into a successful show. Today, let's take a look at one of those from 1999, The Henry and June Show. Though it wasn't successful, The Henry and June Show is a very amusing oddity, spawning off of a show that was, in itself, a very amusing oddity. The kind of those that were delivered in abundance by 1990s Nickelodeon. Actually, I haven't seen Nick in a while. What are they doing nowadays?
Oh my goodness!
I mean, at least he's giving Tom Wilson a job, right?
Big up the masses! Assume the crash position.
To tell the story of this pilot, we have to go back to the beginning. KaBlam was... weird. Okay, no, let's give it a proper introduction since I know my demographics. KaBlam is an anthology show framed within the context of a comic book. Stay with me here. Every episode would highlight between 3 and 5 segments. What were the segments? Everything you could possibly imagine. Stop motion segments, puppetry, traditional animation, both traditional and bizarre. If you just wanted to see what animators do when giving as much free reign as you could within their medium, or actually their own pilots, you could count on KaBlam to deliver. Some of them were great, some of them were fun, some of them were Angela Anaconda.
My name is Angela, and John is mine, and that man is a piece of slime.
Also, you occasionally had a music video.
The sun is a mass of incandescent gas, a gigantic nuclear furnace.
I swear to you, they Might Be Giants' mission was to appear on every show back in the day. Check them out, Lord knows they wanted you to. Anyway, in between segments, the comic book framing was managed by these two, Henry and June. Every episode they would do these little skits for us and flip the pages in between the segments.
It's snooze and fondue.
I did it!
Here's life with Loopy.
Now can we please go to Action League now?
Okay, but remember, it's backwards day.
Who cares?
Care should you.
Now I know what you're thinking, they look a bit off-model. Well, yes, their models got better as the seasons went by, but this is just how everything in the Henry and June world looks. Their creator, Mark Marek, seems to be one of the alumni of the school of thought that says that animation should lose any semblance of realism and accuracy in favor of using its flexibility and dynamism as much as possible. You know, like old school cartoons, or contemporaries on shows like Ren and Stimpy, or those animated shorts from Mad, which, incidentally, he produced. And so looking like that was perfectly fine when KaBlam Season 3 and Episode 12 was created. The idea was that it was a pilot to showcase the possibility of getting Henry and June their own half hour. It makes sense. Henry and June were very well liked in KaBlam, they had a nice dynamic that they could build on with secondary characters and expanding the world, and it's not like KaBlam was lacking for creativity. Also, with them reaching the end of their 3rd season, it was the perfect time to explore what else you can do with the characters long term. So we begin the Henry and June show with a look into the backstage production of the Henry and June show, which is a variety show with celebrities. Oh, do excuse that, but whenever someone introduces a show about the production of a show, that alarm goes out. Don't worry, it isn't a Creative Bankruptcy Act. That one is reserved for random reboots or spin-offs of things that nobody was asking for. You'll know it when you hear it. But having a show being about making a show, even if it is a different kind of show, is generally bad news. So anyway, they're making their own show, which is about to start, and they have a couple of problems. Their celebrities, the Olsen twins, are refusing to come out on stage. Why is it that they are refusing again?
They don't like the way they're drawn.
I'm not going out there. Me neither.
Besides which, Henry has a wicked bout of halitosis, and June has realized that Henry spent all of the money they were paid for the show on a convertible. I've been there. I spent all of that procrastination money on a Pontiac 6000. It's cool, only has 300,000 miles on the clock, and with the hole in the bottom I can go to the back.
Hey, could you hold this? Thanks.
Naturally, Jung is displeased by this and begins beating the ever-loving shit out of Henry, going through a lot of lawyer-friendly cameos. Meanwhile, Bigfoot, aka Mr. Foot, who has been on and off in other episodes of KaBlam, has taken the convertible to buy Henry some mitts. This happens.
A massive police chase has created panic on the freeways. The car has just been identified as the Grand Machismo 2000. That's the bad motor scooter Tom Cruise drives.
Told you.
We're getting reports now that the driver is a crazed Sasquatch.
That's our car! When do you think we'll be going back on?
How does never sound?
What?
I talked to the network. They're replacing you with static. I love that stuff.
I don't blame you, giant poorly drawn executive used to represent the idiocy of the average media conglomerate suit that we see on other episodes of KaBlam. For once, you are right. This is almost as bad as the Ali G show, or the Chevy Chase show, or the Lily Singh show, or Brand X with Russell Brand. I may have to stop complaining about Jimmy Fallon.
Okay, we'll do the show.
It's the Olsen twins! Emerald Lagasse! The wrestlers The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin! And chubby weatherman Al Roker!
I just got the call from upstairs on one of these newfangled cell phones. You kids are back on the air.
These aren't wintergreen. You're fired.
I suggest a new strategy, Artu. Let the Wookiee win.
Kidding. I'm only kidding. Can't you take a joke? It's a comedy show, big fella. It's about the laughter.
And on with the show!
Shot 2 starts the day after the show goes out, with Henry and June going to... Okay, I'll give you that one.
I can't wait.
I can see that.
Hey, Chucklehead, put some pants on!
Ah, the forget your pants joke. Always a classic. The segment starts off a lot more promising. You actually have Henry and Jung in a setting which is a lot more relatable to the kids than a TV studio and the assorted difficulties. So you get to see them at school and you get an introduction to, presumably, more future cast members including Jung's friends and Ryan.
Man, oh, Manhattan clam chowder. I can't believe it. It's really you.
Huh?
Henry and June, just like on TV. Say, would it be possible to get a tongue scraping for my collection? Really, any tissue sample would do.
Devoted fan and future serial killer. Sadly, he's apparently the only person on the entire planet that actually watched the show live.
I guess nobody around here
Gives a hoot about Cable's hottest young faces!
Disappointed at the overall lack of interest and spurred by a random comment by Ryan, they decide to hit the Higher Institute for Tomorrow's Superstars.
I'm Skylar.
I'm Tyler!
I'm Chloe. I'm Zoe.
I'm Tootie.
Muldoon!
I'm Henry.
I'm June.
You're gonna know my name. This is a face you'll never forget.
You got that right, pal. We are then treated to the standard plot of them either not fitting in,
I don't really go in for slapstick humor. Nah, it just doesn't work for me.
or fitting in a little too well,
Looking good, June. That's what I call showbiz sizzle. Stay with us, Mackenzie.
which gives them the blues. But, I mean, swapping schools is not easy in any case. I am sure they will be fine so long as they do not encounter anything else severely traumatizing.
Hey, look at that table. It's the Olsen twins.
Like I said, anything more traumatizing.
Pop sensation, Zach Hansen.
Sup?
And Madonna's baby, Lourdes.
Nothing more traumatizing.
Could someone, pass the salt?
Did you say pass the salt?
Yeah.
I'll pass the salt, the pepper too. I'd do anything for a friend like you. Pass the salt, the pepper too. We'd do anything for friends like you.
Yeah, no, get the fuck out of there. This was 20 years ago and all of a sudden Instagram makes perfect sense. And so the show ends with them back on their old school and realizing that they are perfectly content with their lives as they are.
Welp, see you at lunch. Anonymous American pre-adolescent.
Right back at you, Mr. Face in the crowd.
And how prescient, because that's exactly what happened to Henry and June. The Henry and June show aired once in June 25, 1999 and was never seen on the airwaves again. You can find it around, as evidenced by the fact that you are watching it on unshed quality right now. KaBlam made it one more season and went off the air in 2000. Henry and June themselves stuck it out a little longer, making it an additional year before new content with them stopped.
I'm going to say that next week is the premiere of SpongeBob SquarePants!
Wow, that was loud and appropriate.
Not a bad run to make it to the actual end of the 90s if you ask me. The Henry and June show is fun but rather fails as a pilot. Could it have been better? Well, maybe if the first segment was actually them at school before doing the show and dealing with that in the second segment. Or perhaps if the show within a show had been KaBlam in all but name. But at the end of the day, it seems like they were indeed more suited to being hosts than stars. It's not that bad, and Mark Merrick seems to be doing quite well for himself, having made the best Disney show in a while and now making a spin-off of the Flintstones. I told you it was different, I'll be right back.
Today's big story, Rocket Power is next.
And after that, Nick at Night.
And after that, the rest of your natural life.
Only on Nickelodeon.